1 million Puerto Ricans in Pennsylvania alone. What are you going to say to them when you're in Allentown tomorrow? I'd love to know.
Well, and as that was happening, I mean, the irony of it was that Harris was visiting a Puerto Rican restaurant basically in the same time period.
Let me say, as someone who's been a long-time movement conservative since I'm 18, 19, and who did not follow Trump down the dark path of fascism and bigotry, this is heartbreaking because this isn't just Trump. This is the Republican Party. This is my former party. These are people he picked to be up on that stage 8 days before the election. It's Trump, it's his running mate, it's the people he's installed around him, it's the Republicans that have come up after him and won their elections with his imprimatur. This is the Republican Party. This is so beneath anything we should be doing in our political discourse. And it's not happening on the ground, it's not happening in the basement, it's happening at the presidential level. The guy who is the nominee for the Republican Party has designed this event 8 days before the election because he thinks this is who he is, and this is who our country is.
I mean, Lee Zeldin, as a Republican, you were there last night, right?
I had reserve duty this weekend.
Okay, so you were on reserve duty. You were at the Long Island rally.
I was.
I mean, the Long Island rally that just happened was not like the rally that you just saw what was happening on stage there. I mean, what do you make of it?
I mean, this was a much longer program than what we had in Nassau. There was 25 or so other speakers on top of the people you're playing clips from. And obviously, there's plenty of conversation here today on the network of these clips. But just to give you another perspective of what somebody like me is seeing when Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton are comparing President Trump to Hitler and saying this is a Nazi rally and comparing it to some Nazi rally from the 1930s. And you have an event where you have Holocaust survivors in the arena. You have yarmulkes, people wrapping tefillin, Israeli flags, multiple Jews speaking on stage. There's outrage of people who are on the other side who have a different perspective. And what's really interesting, we see things with our own eyes and ears. There's different echo chambers that are out there. And I'll tell you, the closing message that I see is President Trump talking about Kamala broke it, I'll fix it. And Kamala Harris, as we saw with the CNN town hall last week, the panel before she started was really begging her to talk about the economy and the border. And she was talking about Hitler on January 6th. Now,
she didn't talk about Hitler, but can I ask you?
At the town hall, she did.
Can I put it in an alternative universe? That rally happens yesterday, and it's Kamala Harris's rally, and someone makes jokes like that. Would you be okay with that?
Well, I have seen plenty of comedians on the left joke around about killing Donald Trump. Sid Rosenberg's not a comedian. Rudy Giuliani is not a comedian. David Rem is not a comedian. All those other people that we just showed.
There's also a distinction here, by the way. Kamala Harris has referred to remarks that reportedly came from John Kelly, a four-star general and Donald Trump's former chief of staff, when he referred to him praising Hitler. J.D. Vance compared Donald Trump to Hitler before he did his 180. Kamala Harris is not calling him Hitler. I think that's a very important
respectfully,
distinction.
I would say that today, for example, when Kamala Harris was answering questions outside of Air Force Two, she was asked a question about the rally, talking about going down this line of Nazi rally, Hitler, fascism.
He went after
and she doesn't push back
Palestinians,
on
black
it all.
people, Latinos. Right. I mean, he targeted every race.
But why is this Kamala Harris's problem? This is not Kamala Harris's problem.
Talking about
this is the Republican Party's problem.
But
you're
not
a
when
good
you're
conservatively. I know you. Can't you say that was garbage?
Or would you say that was a Nazi rally? Would you say Trump is Hitler?
I didn't say that.
No, but you wouldn't. You didn't. But the problem is that Hillary Clinton did.
But we're not talking about Hillary Clinton. I'm asking you, you're a good conservative.
Kamala Harris just went with that narrative today.
Can't you just say that was garbage?
Kamala Harris went with that narrative today.
You won't say it.
But let's ask, I'm going to ask Jamal, who worked for Kamala Harris, about that in a moment. But on